But it's hanging. So let me just nip it with the saw. Winches did their job.
Winches did their job.
Alright, I think I'm going to go back and get the hose forma to do the firewood section of this tree. Save the chain on my other one and see whether or not that goofy grind I just did helps. can say without a doubt that this is a very lousy cutting chain. So, but I want you to look at that stump, and theoretically I might have been able to get another couple of inches before I'm in the dirt. But just look at all the other stumps you've seen on YouTube where that thing's up, 10 inches, even a foot or more, and then just multiply that by 100. There's your 100 trees. So every 50 to 100 trees, leaving that kind of stump height behind means you've left the tree behind. Something to think about. At least a good saw log. And the other point is, I want to hammer home. See that point up there, the front was the low point because it's a little bit uphill. So that's as low as I could cut without being in the dirt. If I was cutting there, for example, and felling back that direction, I could have done what people call a Humboldt and damaged even less of the log. But if I had done, say, something like either a conventional or a Humboldt up front versus coming right down the side of the log like I did on the root flare, I would have lost, as much as a foot of the tree times 100. Always got to think about it. You get a strategy in place. You got to multiply it by however many trees you got to cut. Well, if you look, you see that on the edges, on that side there, that side, they're ever so slightly rolled down, every one of them. That one right there. Some of them aren't bad, but I guess when I got it in the dirt, I basically destroyed that cutting edge top plate and the beak there. Oh boy. Yeah, you can see it on that one too. So no matter what I did to the rakers, it was not going to cut. So I guess I'll put a different chain on it, and yeah, you can see it on that one too, and that one. Yeah. I guess it needs to get some grinder attention again. Not sure it's going to work, but I had to plow some this morning. I don't feel like detaching my snowplow just yet, so let me just see if I can just pull it about one at a time. it may be it's just simpler for me to leave the snowplow somewhere and pull a log second. So, but I got to get back down in there, so I need to take some snow away. So I'm going to start stacking logs that side. These logs right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those 10 logs are yours already. So I'm going to start working and laying them over that way. And I figure when I get to like even 15, that's probably a good enough load. Not necessarily the optimal rig, right, for skidding, but I gotta be moving snow, and I'm also pulling some logs, so it'll work. This will be one of about 10 or 15. Look at this ash tree. This is the one we just did. I gotta go down and get the rest of it. Nice log. And then I'm gonna start stacking the firewood over there again. Yeah, this should be a little tougher pull. be a pretty tough pull, I think. I don't want to fall off the bank. Yeah, this is that road that hacked in with the excavator last summer. Goes down into there. Yeah, a little dicey. I don't want to fall off the bank. That would be life-ending, probably. But poor old tractor. And I want to pull out a bunch of that stuff there. I got to be a little careful, so I'm going to have a little longer chain, so I actually come off the bank a little bit, so it doesn't inadvertently push me off the bank, and then back up and rehook. But you see how it's the tree is coming back this way, so there's going to be a lot of pulling going on. And like to get that tree right there, maybe today or tomorrow. And then I got a basswood, a red oak, ash, and another couple. There's like 5 or 6 trees in here, but I'm not going to go any further. You see where it's looking wet down there? That's swamp. I'm not going to go down in there until I can get a chance to clean it up with a dozer. But let me see if I can't get this hooked up. Yeah, if this was a straight pull, I could hook onto most of this and get it out. But since it's not, I got to take that and bend it around the corner. It's going to break the top off and stuff like that. I have to do it in 2 pulls. First to get it pulled around the street, and then back up again with a shorter chain so I can get around the trees further up the road. This is where a winch would really pay off. And I do have a winch, I just don't have it hooked up. I've got a snowplow instead. So this is snowplow skidding. My companions today are that Husqvarna branded splitting balls, my wedge driver splitter all in one, so I've got 2 tools today. See if I can make this work. Yeah, we're a little bit of an angle here. Slide off the side here. That would be end time.
That's what I like about these trucks. It makes that kind of thing easy. The thing is that if I hadn't mowed these roads so many times, I probably could go right in a ditch, but I've seen those telephone poles, and I've had the mower head around them, so I know how far away from the road they are. You know, I know this road better than my own damn driveway.